Okay, so this is an interesting little stat that we have here. So even though Matt Stafford, he had a great postseason, we know that. He obviously led the Rams to the Super Bowl. He is second all-time, okay? Eli Manning still holds the single postseason passing yards record. And look at, like, who is in this company.
Teeth too. I mean,
right,
31 yards, is it? That is not a lot.
That looks like one Odell Beckham away from taking the record, right?
But also, look at, just look at who else is, like, on this list. Tom Brady is fifth. I'm surprised to see that. But you've got Joe Flacco, Kurt Warner. I mean, were you surprised at all that Eli Manning is still number one here?
Yes and no. I mean, because that 2011 postseason, Eli Manning had to work for it. I mean, they were a wild card team. They had to, they aired it out. But I am surprised that that record has stood as long as it is, especially considering now how much of a pass-happy league it is. And I mean, as we see how close Matthew Stafford came, of course, this is a single-season postseason, so it all, refreshes next year. But with the performances we saw from the quarterbacks and with the young quarterback talent that we have in this league right now, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, the arms that we have in this league, that record's not going to last much longer. But it is incredible for Eli Manning that it has lasted 10 years. And again, I mean, Matthew Stafford was one end zone pick away from passing it. If that pass to Van Jefferson had gone through, it would have been a different story. But still, getting that close, wow, that's incredible.
Incredible postseason for Matthew Stafford. It's been 13 years, but you finally earned it. So from the top of the top, let's get back here to the Giants. But, if there's anything we can take from this postseason is that your fortunes could turn very quickly. And the Giants have a new GM, new head coach, Joe Schoen, and Coach Daboll. I don't know if we've spoken since the hires have been made official.
Right.
But I would love to get your thoughts on those hires.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I was here was right before they named Joe Schoen, and I think that both of these men in their introductory press conferences have said the right things. They seem very impressive. Schoen, of course, coming to Buffalo, and he noted how quickly the Bengals turned things around. I mean, as we see, they were, right there this year as well, and how it just takes a few moves to get from where you are to where you want to be. And you got to get creative with it. And Brian Daboll as well, a very inspiring guy. You can tell how much he just loves the game of football. He's been around the National Football League for 20 years, but he's also very personable. I mean, I remember at his introductory press conference, he walks in and he was supposed to walk up to the podium, but he stopped and shook the hands of every media member and got their name and just stood there and just had conversation with everyone.
How important are those things, though?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, that's a whole nother conversation, I feel like, in itself, how critical that can be.
But I also think it's not just critical to do that with the media, but it just shows what kind of a guy he is and how much he values personal relationships. If he does that with the media, imagine how he treats his players, right? And so I think a guy like that, you want to play for a guy that you have some respect for, or that you feel like you have some understanding for. And a fun fact about Brian Daboll, too, is he loves to FaceTime players. Like, that's his thing. I don't understand. Like, he just loves to get on FaceTime and call up the players and be like, oh, what's going on? How you doing? Checking in. Loves those personal relationships are something that he has always said are very important to him. And so, of course, now who these guys are as people is important. Who these guys are as footballs and leaders of this New York Giants franchise remains to be seen, especially in the coming weeks and months as we gear up for the 2022 season.
Please, text before you FaceTime, people. Text before you No random FaceTimes, please.
Yeah, why not? It's always fun to get a random FaceTime.
Wait. Real quick, though.
Kazim is not available.
He wants to text first, okay? So real quick, though, before we have to let you go, aside from a new coach and a new GM, there's also a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator. You talked so much about getting the right people in place to kind of see a turnaround. So what can we expect from these guys to kind of help, on one side, a young quarterback still really needing to maybe make an impact this year, and also just fine-tuning the defense on the other end?
Absolutely. Well, I think there's, like you said, both sides. Starting with the offense, they hired offensive coordinator Mike Kafka out of Kansas City. He was essentially the assistant to Eric Bieniemy on the offensive side of the ball, integral in Patrick Mahomes' development. He was an NFL quarterback himself for a few years, played at Northwestern, knows the game. And I think the interesting thing about Kafka is that he has not yet called plays. So Joe Schoen has said he would prefer that Brian Daboll does not call plays, that the coordinator does. It'll see how that susses out as we get closer to the season, because Shane wants Daboll to focus in on, the game management as a whole. But again, Daboll has said this is an important hire, the offensive coordinator, especially in a make or break year for Daniel Jones. They want to get the right people around him to boost him up, teach him everything they can, get him into this system effectively. And then on the defensive side, Wink Martindale, who a lot of people, if you're not familiar with him, Don is his actual first name, but he was given that nickname in college as a hat tip to the game show host, and it's stuck with him ever since. But Wink Martindale, he loves to blitz, which is going to be a very different approach than the Patrick Graham defense that we saw, that bend but don't break defense, right? And that's going to come into effect too. Who are they going to draft? They need an edge rusher. They need to get guys who can apply pressure. Wink Martindale is going to want to go after the quarterback and shut it down, and is not going to be kind of doing that whole, we'll give you a little space to make some moves, but just block out the big plays. They're trying to go for the home run hit. And so we'll see how that pans out.
We could see a very different Giants team.
Very different.
Very different.
Hopefully it's very different.